All right, time now for Built for Success, presented by Ram Trucks, putting our focus on the SEC. In Baton Rouge at night, Alabama comes a-calling, and according to ESPN Analytics, 6 schools have at least a 20% chance to reach the SEC title game. 2 of them are squaring off Saturday night in Louisiana. Tigers 13-0 in home night games under Brian Kelly, and Alabama has been taking on water on the road this season.
Great.
So, Gary.
Talk to me.
Well, we're going to play a little game of fact or cap, okay? Fact is true, cap is false. I'm just explaining it to you so that you understand it.
Oh, no cap.
As it pertains to this game and the implications, because it is essentially an elimination game for the college football playoff. 2 losses for Bama, 2 losses for LSU already.
Okay.
So the first one is,
talk to me.
LSU should be ranked ahead of Alabama in the college football playoff rankings. Is that fact or cap?
Slime, I'm going to tell you like it is. That's fact. That actually is fact. Are they coming off LSU, a bad loss to Texas A&M, where they let Marcel Reed
but Texas A&M's a good team.
Run wild for 5 touchdowns, didn't throw any. Yes. Has Alabama lost their last 2 games on the road, which included a loss at Vanderbilt? Also, yes. Yeah. So the recency bias thing goes out the window where you're like, well, LSU, they have the most recent loss. Bama's got 2 arguably worse losses recently. So I would say, and the differentiation here, it's not that big, but it is in that the top 12 teams get into the CFP. So I think for the first rankings iteration that came out Tuesday, LSU should have been ahead of Alabama.
FPI says that it's Bama ahead of LSU, strength of record.
I get it.
All of that, like the quality wins. Listen, they beat Georgia when Georgia was the second-ranked team in the country.
Sure.
I think that's better than any win that LSU has. But LSU's losses are to USC and to Texas A&M.
Which USC was week 1 neutral site. That was back in September.
USC's garbage
Correct,
now.
but then they went on a 7-game heater, did Texas A&M. So I think just for this argument's sake, they could have flip-flopped.
Okay, the second statement as we continue in our game of fact or cap. It's actually what I said. It's actually what I said off the top was that, okay, this is the statement. This is a college football playoff elimination game. Is that fact or cap? This is not. Actually, there's double negatives that trip me up.
Yeah.
This is not an elimination game. Fact or cap?
That's cap, my boy.
Oh, my boy? Why?
Both teams have 2 losses, and we have beat this into the ground in that you can get into the college football playoff as a 2-loss team. You just mentioned it. 6 teams right now still have the ability to play in the SEC title, and if you win, you're in. But you are not going to get to an SEC title, much less a college football playoff position with 3 regular season losses. Don't care how good the resume is from here on out because the runway is getting shorter. We only have 3 weeks left in the regular season as we take a look here. LSU, obviously, Saturday versus Bama hosting at Death Valley night game, but then the rest of their resume, nobody's ranked. Vanderbilt's good. Nobody's ranked.
Nobody's going to be ranked either.
Whoever loses this game, see you later, bye. Enjoy the Outback Bowl.
Is that what you think? You think it's that?
Well, generally speaking, it's SEC versus Big Ten.
No, fair. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. The college football, the All-State College Football Playoff Predictor drops Alabama's chances of making the playoff with a loss. Let's say they lose to LSU. Drops down to 15%.
Which is 15% way too high.
If LSU loses, it's down to 9%. So
9%
that's why
high.
The question's a fair one because it's like, okay, these chances don't drop to 0.
Correct.
There's still a chance, but then you look at the road ahead and so many things would have to break your way.
There's no games on either of the team's schedule that's going to be prolific or impressive enough to catapult a 3-loss regular season team back into a college football playoff discussion where there's going to be so many teams, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, who are going to have resumes more deserving.
Fact or cap, LSU should feel disrespected.
That's
fact or cap?
That's cap.
Oh.
I mean, disrespected on what regard?
They're an underdog at home. They're 13-0 under Brian Kelly in night games.
But again, the same thing that I used.
Death Valley?
The same thing as I used to say they should be flip-flopping Alabama. I'm going to use here in the opposite argument. They just lost, so prove us wrong.
Okay.
You just got smoked by Marcel Reed, who's a backup quarterback.
Sure.
Yes, it's College Station. Yes, they have the 12th man. But you let them run wild
Hulkamania
on your defense.
They ran wild, brother.
Yeah.
That's more Randy Savage, I guess.
But okay.
Yeah, disrespect, cap.
Okay, who wins?
That's good.
Right? I think it's I think it's Bama.
I think it's going to Alabama.
I think it's Bama. I think Jalen Milroe, I think these are the games. LSU's defense is improved.
Correct.
It's not the kind of defense that is going to make him turn the football over.
And what have you said about Garrett Nussmeier's recent play? You said it's not Nussmeier, it's Sussmeier.
It's Sussmeier. That's exactly what
That's
I've
what
said.
you've been saying.
Even
though he's second in the SEC in touchdowns and yards and top 10 nationally in both. I'm not saying Alabama's defense is going to be the deciding factor here. I guess I just like their offensive weapons a little bit better.
Okay. All right. There's another one in the SEC that we have to get to, and it's Georgia, and it's Ole Miss, third-ranked Bulldogs. Another test. They're on the road. They're in Oxford, and they're taking on these Rebels. And the Dogs have been winning, but it hasn't been pretty. I mean, Carson Beck
needs to figure it
turning
out.
the football over. Rebs are coming in hot off of that blowout win, over Arkansas. So, factor cap, we roll on. Georgia is the best team in the SEC.
Cap.
Who is it?
I'm not even running through the resume.
They're the highest ranked right
Texas.
now. Yeah?
Texas doesn't have quarterbacks.
Texas beat them straight up? Oh, no, wait.
No, listen, that was a couple weeks ago, whatever.
Yeah.
Texas doesn't have quarterback issues. The big quarterback issue right now in the SEC is Kirby Smart and Carson Beck. 8 interceptions over the course of his last 3 games, back-to-back games with 3 interceptions. That's insane. An upperclassman making those mistakes?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Okay.
Last week, 3 interceptions against Florida. Yes, I know you can throw everything out the window.
They're winning games, though.
They are winning, but
big second half from Carson Beck.
do you trust Carson Beck right
No,
now? Do you
not at all.
trust him?
No, not at all. You know what I'm doing? I'm devil's advocating.
Okay, here's the thing.
Stirring the
Here's the
pot.
thing. Here's the thing. You don't trust him?
Don't.
Okay, cool.
Here's the thing about
So then,
trust.
would you want him to be the quarterback leading your playoff team? Also, no. If you don't trust him, you don't want him as your quarterback.
God. No, I mean, no. But this is not a trust question. It's a best team.
Yeah.
Team.
And if factor cap, quarterback's
21 other
factor cap,
starters.
quarterback's the most important position on the field.
Oh, are you playing a game of factor cap?
Yeah, I'm
with
going to
me?
throw it right back at you.
Yeah, no, fact or cap quarterback. Fact, yes.
Okay, so
yeah, 100%.
And if you don't trust
All
your
right,
quarterback,
Okay. Here we go. This is your wheelhouse.
Talk to me.
The next statement in factor cap. I would rather have Jackson Dart than
Fact.
Carson Beck as a quarterback in this game.
Fact.
Okay.
Fact.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart is the Tony Romo of college football quarterbacks. In that you hated Tony Romo if you were a diehard Cowboys fan, but you loved him if you were a fantasy football fan. Because why? He's gonna give you 400 yards.
Yeah.
He's gonna spin it for 4 touchdowns.
Against Georgia?
Might have 3 interceptions.
Yeah, sure.
Might have 3 interceptions.
I think you're describing Carson Beck right now.
But yeah,
But go ahead.
true.
Go ahead.
Jackson Dart's. They just hung up 60 last
No,
week.
he had 500 yards.
They
He had
spread
6
him out and
touchdowns.
let it fly.
Yeah.
You just answered my question. for
Against
me.
Arkansas, though.
Does-
All due respect.
Okay, fine.
This is Georgia.
But you said 600 yards and 5 touchdowns.
500 yards and 6.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that.
600 yards would be. I mean, that's
Give me Jackson Dart over Carson
Okay.
Beck. Is that even a question?
okay. All right. It is a question. Factor cap now. Ole Miss should be higher in the CFP rankings. They're currently ranked 16th.
Cap.
Oh, you're going to right where they're at.
Yeah, I think they did it right.
Yeah.
Listen, they had plenty of opportunity to put themselves in a top 12
They had that
position.
LSU game. They
As-
had that LSU game.
Boom, losing at LSU. It was snug. Okay. Arkansas, they got a little retribution. It was close against Oklahoma too. But when they take on Georgia, this is their prove it or lose it game.
Yeah.
Right? Because nothing from this resume speaks of, okay, this team should be a CFP team. That lost to Kentucky, and listen,
That just jumps off the
Coach
screen,
Stoops
man.
in Kentucky, they're a team
Yeah.
that nobody wants to see. Georgia has said as much, even though they squeaked out
Sure.
a win. But yeah, Ole Miss, they're one of those teams who are in control of their destiny. They're at 16, but you take care of business against the number 3 team in the country, you find yourself immediately in the CFP conversation.
Who wins? This is not a factor cap. This is just who wins. This is in Oxford.
Yeah. Gosh, that's tough. The way Carson Beck is playing and having his defense having to continue to bail him out, Jackson Dart might be a little bit too much, putting too much offense out there that he could afford a couple mistakes. Give me Ole Miss.
You can take Ole Miss. Ole Miss gets after the quarterback.
Give me Ole Miss.
Ole Miss leads the nation in sacks.
And listen, we know
speed up Carson
and what do
Beck.
we know about Carson Beck? Every scout
Tat it
has
up.
said it. Tat it up.
Eye black.
He's sick. He's cool. The Jacksonville boy. All the scouts have said it. Every analyst on our programming has said it. If you give Carson Beck time and comfort, he will dissect you. He had 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards when he wasn't pressured.
Right.
3 interceptions when you sent 5.
Yes.
All you gotta do is send 5.
Send 5, and that's a wrap.
So if
and
Ole
that's
Miss,
a wrap on this segment.
if
You're
Ole Miss
picking Ole
sends
Miss.
5, it's a wrap for
You have
Carson
a great
Beck.
argument. I'm going to take Georgia.